John has a vision of God's heavenly throne room, and he describes it with imagery drawn from many Old Testament prophets. Surrounding God are creatures and elders that represent all creation and human nations, and they're giving honor and allegiance to the one true Creator God who is holy, holy, holy. In God's hand is a scroll that's closed up with 7 wax seals. It symbolizes the message of the Old Testament prophets and the sealed scroll of Daniel's visions. These are all about how God's kingdom will come here fully on earth as in heaven. But it turns out no one is able to open the scroll until John hears of someone who can. It's the Lion from the tribe of Judah and the Root of David. He can open it. These are classic Old Testament descriptions of the Messianic king who would bring God's kingdom through military conquest. Now, that's what John hears. But then what he turns and sees is not an aggressive lion king, but a sacrificed bloody lamb who's alive, standing there, and ready to open the scroll. Now, this symbol of Jesus as the slain lamb, this is crucially important for understanding the book. John's saying that the Old Testament promise of God's future victorious kingdom was inaugurated through the crucified Messiah. Jesus overcame his enemies by dying for them as the true Passover lamb so that they could be redeemed. Because of the resurrection, Jesus' death on the cross was not a defeat, it was his enthronement. It was the way he conquered evil. And so this vision concludes with the Lamb alongside the one sitting on the throne, and together they are worshipped as the one true Creator and Redeemer, and the slain Lamb begins to open the scroll. It's a symbol of his divine authority to guide history to its conclusion.
Hey groups, it's Kelly, and I'm so excited to be introducing this next section we're entering into for Revelation. I hope your discussion around God's messages to the 7 churches has been great, and that you've not only learned a lot, but you've been able to apply it to your own life and your community as you participate in the local church. And so this section we're jumping into is going to be a whole new scene, and we're going to be entering into the throne room of God. And so as you're reading chapters 4 and 5 and you're looking into it, be sure to really take the time to use your imagination when you're looking into it. Pay attention to all the colors and the sounds and the sights that are being described here, because it really pulls you into a different place and a different environment and a different understanding of this reality that we don't necessarily participate in all the time. And it's the reality of the dimension where God is, what we call heaven. And it's beautiful because John gets to glimpse into it, and not only does he get to see it, but he gets to share it with all of us. And so it's going to be a really fun chapter to jump into, and it's going to also be a little bit of a cliffhanger for all of the groups and for the congregation at Grace Place, because we're going to step into this new section of Revelation, and you're going to get an opening taste of it, and then we're going to take a break for Christmas and look at something new. And so that's going to wrap up part 1 of Revelation for this time, and we're going to kick back off into groups and into Revelation on January 10th and 13th. That weekend is when we're going to jump back in. And so over this holiday time, be sure to still stay connected as a group. Maybe do a Christmas get-together, take some time to enjoy family and friends and the season, and get ready because we'll be jumping into Revelation again in January. So as we are getting into this part of Revelation, stepping into the throne room, I wanted to read just a little piece of what N.T. Wright writes in his Revelation for Everyone. And he's giving us a glimpse and a way to understand or feel the feeling that John had when we get into chapter 5 and they're not able to find someone who can open the scroll, which is God's plan, his plan for redemption, his plan for renewal and restoration. And so he says, "We stood and stared at the letter as it lay on the doormat. It was a smart envelope, good quality paper with clear, bold, typewritten name and address. And at the top, in even larger letters, we saw the words, "To be opened by addressee only." And the addressee was not at home. We hardly dared touch it. But supposing the envelope had said, "To be opened by the person who deserves to do so," that would have been even more intriguing and would have posed a different kind of challenge. How do you know if you deserve to open it? As one writer put it, we are all overdrawn at the moral bank. That is the situation at the start of this scene. We are still looking through John's eyes at the heavenly throne room, and it is not simply one long, round, endless, repetitive praise. This is the throne room of God, the Creator. And His world is not merely a living picture to be enjoyed. It is a project. It is going somewhere. There is work to be done. And so this is where we're going to leave off after this week in our groups. We're going to be left with who is worthy to open this, who among us deserves such an honor and can carry something this big to completion. And we're going to see that it is through the Lamb. He is the one who is worthy. It's Jesus who is the one who is worthy. And this goes back to the very beginning, that this is a revelation of Jesus. And it's all about Jesus. And now we're going to see what Jesus has done and what He is going to do. And we'll be able to enter in this time of Thanksgiving with looking how in heaven they're giving thanks. And so take the time, reflect on it, enjoy your time with your group. I truly believe that this will be a season where you'll learn more and more what it means to step across that line into the throne room where God is, and allow yourself to connect with Him and His presence to overwhelm you with who He is. So have a great discussion, and we will see you soon.
So let's just do a
Whoa. Test. 1, 2,
Talk
3,
like you're
4.
talking your whole thing.
What?
Just talk like you're introducing though.
I am.
Okay.
Is this not how I talk? This is how I talk. Test.